So this might not be the side hustle for you. When I first started reselling, it was really stressful. I lost a lot of money, I wasted a lot of time, and I really didn't know what I was supposed to be doing. In this video, we're gonna break down the 3 S's of reselling, and we're gonna make this so simple that if you're brand new, you will understand everything there is to know about reselling within just a few minutes. All right, S number 1, and one of the most important aspects of reselling is sourcing. So we all know sourcing means going to thrift stores, garage sales, swap meets, all that good stuff. But there's so much more to sourcing. Anyone can go out there and go buy random junk at the thrift store, but that doesn't make you a reseller. A high-level reseller is gonna have a niche that they stick to, and then they expand from there. That is the number 1 tip I tell new people that are looking to get started into reselling on eBay or any other marketplace. Find a niche that you like and go with that. Sure, you can sell other things, you can learn about other categories, but start with something that maybe you're passionate about, maybe you have a background in, maybe you love coffee mugs. Sell coffee mugs. Don't worry about selling digital cameras. Stick to what you know. That's a big part of sourcing, is understanding what your categories are. There's a million different items in thrift stores and a million different categories. You're not expected to become an expert overnight in every single one. I've been doing this for years, and guys, there are still some categories that I am a clueless puppy in. Like, I could not tell you one single thing about it. Like, take for example, women's clothing. I am a full-time men's clothing seller, but I can't tell you anything about women's brands or anything like that, because men's clothing is my niche, and that's what I stick to, and that's what I really enjoy selling. That's the biggest part of this, guys. Like, I don't want you to start a side hustle and start flipping like semi-trucks and you hate dealing with them because they're big and heavy and bulky and hard to sell. I want you to sell stuff that you're actually gonna like, that you're gonna enjoy dealing with. I don't know what your thing is, but I want you to enjoy it more than anything. Found something you enjoy, now you need to learn about your local market. If you live in New York City and you live in Kansas City, it's gonna be 2 very, very different sourcing opportunities. Now, I lived in New York City. I went thrifting there. It is absolutely bonkers, the amount of competition you have, the amount of intelligent people that know exactly what they're looking for when it comes to a category like clothing. It is really, really, really hard to become a reseller in New York City unless you really narrow your niche down and understand the local market. What I mean by understanding the local market is seeing what your area actually has available. Maybe you live in the middle of farm country. That doesn't mean you can't be a reseller, but that also means that you need to accept the fact that you may not ever find a Louis Vuitton purse in your thrift store. So figure out your local area and see what people are selling, see what they're donating, see all of these things. But then if you're gonna go to thrift stores and go sourcing this way, learn all about those thrift stores. Learn about the employees, learn about when sales happen, learn about when new carts of stuff come out. And those 3 things alone will expand your business more than anything you could possibly do. But I've also memorized the schedules at my stores. Take for example, Senior Day. I hate thrifting on Senior Day. It's busier, people are slower, it's just not fun whatsoever for me. So I take that day off. I do other things besides go thrifting, and that's what you need to learn about your local area. All right, we're making some really big moves here. We've found our niche, we've learned about our area, we've made some friends at the thrift store, and we've hopefully found some stuff to resell. But now we have to resell these things, and that's where the second S comes in, and it's selling. Now, of course, we have to sell our stuff, but there's more to selling than just selling. I've sold a lot of things in my life. I worked in sales in the fashion world in New York City, so I sold suits, I sold food for the biggest food purveyor in the country, and now I sell used junk online. So I've been in the sales world for quite a bit of time now, and I've seen some really interesting things, and I've learned some really interesting lessons, which we're about to talk about. When it comes to selling online, not all marketplaces are equal. Poshmark, Mercari, eBay, Etsy, Facebook, 5 different platforms, all completely different, all with a different demographic shopping on it. Take for example Poshmark. I despise it, but you know who doesn't despise Poshmark? Women. Women love buying clothes on Poshmark, so if you're gonna be a full-time women's clothing seller, you should sell on Poshmark. And then comes along eBay, which is like Poshmark on steroids. eBay is special because it opens up the world for us resellers. It's not only that you're gonna be selling a t-shirt to Bob in Kansas, you're now gonna be selling something to people in Japan and China, all these random foreign places that you never thought about reselling. That's possible with eBay. eBay is obviously the big dog in the game. They've been around the longest, they're gonna be around the longest, and they've set the industry standards for buying and selling used stuff online. Now, if eBay, again, you're gonna have a worldwide marketplace, but you're gonna have a hugely diverse audience. We talked about Poshmark, mostly women. eBay is gonna be the whole gamut of like 16-year-old kids messing around to 90-year-old women that have been shopping on eBay for 35 years. There's a huge, huge, huge community of shoppers on eBay looking for random junk. eBay is a household name. It's quintessential to shopping online. So just use it, learn about it, and don't be scared of it. Now, the next few marketplaces, we're just gonna lump together because it's a little bit easier. We're talking about Facebook, Mercari, and then Depop and all the other little alternatives. I categorize these as like the easy peasy children's playgrounds of selling. Now, Poshmark would probably get grouped into this, but I just wanted to make it its own separate thing. But these other platforms like Mercari, Facebook, these guys, they make it so simple to sell on there. You don't need to know about shipping. You don't need anything. You can literally just take your phone, hop in the Facebook marketplace, and sell your used couch within minutes to someone in your local area. That's the beauty of it. That's why I tell everyone to get started on these kinds of platforms, and don't worry about eBay when you first get going. You need a few small wins under your belt, and then you can expand. Then you can learn about shipping. Then you can sell to a worldwide audience. But you need to see if this is actually something you enjoy, because maybe you hate sales. A lot of people hate selling and dealing with people and shipping and all these things. So this might not be the side hustle for you. But if it is, keep watching this video because we're gonna talk about number 3 right now. We have a niche. We have our items that we've sourced from our thrift stores. We made friends. We've learned what marketplace we wanna sell on. We've signed up for them all. Now we have to ship stuff. Hopefully by now you have sold something on a marketplace, and we need to figure this out because this is probably the most important part for the customer. They actually want to get their stuff. 2 of the most frequently asked questions on my social media are, how do you ship stuff? And how do you know how to actually charge for it? This is a big reason why just a minute ago I told you to not start on eBay, because when you start on eBay, you need to figure this stuff out or you're gonna have a really, really hard time and you might lose money or you might piss your customer off. Shipping is one of those like really overly complicated, convoluted things, almost kind of like the US government's form of taxes. It doesn't make any sort of sense whatsoever. It's like they're almost setting you up for failure. Unless you've been doing this for like 6 months, a year, 2 years, and you have all these shipping boxes and rates memorized, it is incredibly overwhelming for a new reseller. The biggest tip I can give you guys, and you may not like this tip whatsoever, you need to waste your own money. That's the only way to learn. You need to sell items online and underestimate what it's actually gonna cost to ship and get hit with like a $30 shipping bill. Then you're gonna start to learn. You're gonna start to see how rates are affected by item weight, item size, all these things. But that comes in time. That's not something that I can like portray to you in a 5-minute video and make you an expert in it. It doesn't work like that. Shipping's confusing because you can take an item that's this big in a poly bag, but it's over 16 ounces, which means it's over a pound. It might cost you $11 to ship this item, but if you simply put it in a USPS padded flat rate envelope, it's gonna cost you about $8 and some change to ship that same exact item. So that's where it gets really confusing, is knowing what box to actually put things in, if a flat rate is gonna be cheaper or more expensive, because sometimes it is more expensive. So it's knowing those little things that will actually help you figure shipping out. But besides knowing the costs of shipping, you also need the right supplies. So take for me, for example, I'm a full-time clothing seller. The only real supplies that I need are some poly bags, some padded flat rate envelopes, and then some medium flat rate boxes. I don't use many other items besides that. Now, when I first started and I was shipping reel-to-reel players, vintage receivers, all these things, the amount of things that I needed to make my day happen was not fun whatsoever. I needed heavy duty boxes, I needed tons of bubble wrap, foam padding, tons of tape, all these things that I needed because that was my business at the time. But then it evolved, it adapted. So I adapted the items I was purchasing to help me with shipping. That's something that you need to be thoughtful of because shipping supplies are expensive unless you buy them in bulk. And when you're buying things in bulk, you need to make sure that they're actually the supplies that you're gonna use. If you wanna see the shipping supplies that I use, especially my favorite scale and label printer ever, make sure to watch this video here. It's gonna help you get some supplies going for your business. Hit that like button for me. It really helps a small channel like mine grow. And until next time, cheers.